Yo, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. This is NerdTube with a post-show review wrap-up, whatever you want to call it, of WrestleMania 38, brought to you by Elden Ring, one of the toughest games that you will ever play in your entire life. If you want to play a video game that's going to be punishing because it doesn't like your face, buy Elden Ring right now for the low, low price of $60, depending on where you live. Anyway, I am DOZ101. With me is Gary Goodtimes and Zam. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing good. As somebody who's no longer a wrestling fan, but makes the effort now and again, I thoroughly enjoyed this year's WrestleMania. I really did. I think our expectations were low going in there, which kind of made things a bit better.
Yeah,
But if you're gonna have a shit card, at least have good matches, and that's what we got, in my opinion.
and here's how I kind of look at it. I look at it like, okay, I go to AEW for my wrestling, and WWE's beating me over the head with the we're not a wrestling company, we're a sports entertainment company. I've gotten so beaten in the head over that. So I'm just like, you know what? Okay, WWE, you win. You're sports entertainment. That's what I'm going to call you as. And for a sports entertainment show, I thought it was really good. I thought it was the best Mania they've done in a really long time.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
Boss man,
It
what'd you
was
think?
I thought it was I've watched both shows. I thought night one was the better show.
Mm-hmm.
Had more solid matches. The second one was a little bit more. I don't want to say slow pace, but wasn't really as match heavy as night one.
Mm-hmm. That's how it's been these last couple of years, where it's like night one is the better night, but then night two, it either feels rushed or it feels like you're watching Monday Night Raw on a WrestleMania stage.
I mean, yeah, but the thing is that I'd say that the first night was excellent. The second night was okay with some decent.
Oh
matches.
yeah, we could talk about that. Daniel Vance. Yeah, dude. All right, you pulled up at the perfect time. Should we
Let's
start
bring this
with
up now.
Sonny first? Yeah, let's just go
Yeah,
there
let's
now.
bring it up now. Yeah, for sure.
Sonny, we all knew there would come a time where Sonny would drive drunk and kill somebody. And that's exactly what she did this past week. How the hell she has not gotten 20 years to life yet? I don't know. Good Lord. She drove
Well,
drunk and she killed somebody.
Well, I've always said that she was a
A
walking,
train
talking
wreck.
train wreck, and now she's a walking, talking car crash. And it's funny thing is like there's that how the phrase goes, you're shocked, but you're not surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Like that this person was capable of doing that. So yeah, Tammy Sitch killing somebody, being drunk and disorderly behind the wheel.
We knew it
I mean
was coming.
that,
Yeah. Everybody
that's
knew it was coming.
that's exactly who she is as a person.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not surprised, remotely, entirely
Mm-mm.
by these particular circumstances, and it'll be interesting to see where things go for her from here.
It's more shocking the fact that she's been able to be a walking rap sheet. Literally, she's been a walking rap sheet for God knows how long now. God, to think 25 years ago, she was the hottest woman in wrestling. Like, unarguably, she was the hottest woman in wrestling, but she ruined her entire life, and now she killed somebody. And I think the judge needs to look at that walking rap sheet and go, you know what? 20 years. This isn't even a discussion. You're getting 20 years minimum that you have to serve, and there's no way out of it for you. That's at least my view, anyway. If not, the rest of her
I
life.
No, I just punishment. I mean, I sometimes you know it's really weird in the way. Like over the years, I've been looking at certain things,
Mm-hmm.
and like some people are despicable people, and they deserve to go to jail, and you have to throw away the key.
Mm-hmm.
As much as Tammy, as much as she's fucked up her life, she's definitely not that sort of person. She's not a despicable serial killer, somebody
Mm-mm.
who goes around looking to ruin people's life. That's not who she is. What she needs is rehabilitation, and she needs it hardcore. People like her need help. Obviously, she needs to pay for her. She has to serve her time and all of that. At the same time,
Mm-hmm.
she needs to come out of jail rehabilitated and be a more productive member of society.
Yeah,
That's the
like
whole. You know what I mean?
it's time to find God or a purpose or something. Yeah, like something, Sonny. Come on. Yes, Cheeto, we're getting to it. Nice dog in the background, by the way. Buy this fucking game. I dare you. I double dare any of you. Buy this game.
If it's like fucking Dark Souls and Bloodborne, I don't
Okay,
want
I
to
mean-
go near it.
Yes, it
You
is.
know, I don't want to go near. I hate games like that. Anyway, sorry, boss man.
Okay, go ahead, boss. man.
It's a shame that like somebody had to pass away, and the thing is that like I'm hoping that this is the reality check that obviously she obviously needs, or the moral clarity, or whatever you want to call it, come to Jesus, whatever you want to call it, whatever that thing, that wake up call that we all need, because at the end of the day, somebody who was here 1 minute and probably had good 20, 30 years left was taken away in the distance because she could control her drinking. And I think that is what should be the total race. The thing is that this woman, maybe it's a sign that people need to be careful of how they let their lives be once they get out of the business, because that's a sign of what can happen when you're in the business and you let your bad habits follow you outside of the business, if that makes sense.
I agree. Yeah, so
And that's the thing with, unfortunately, with Vince monopolizing everything. Like after being in the WWE, there's nowhere else to really go. For people like Tammy, you're in the WWE 1 minute, and unless you've got an opportunity to get into Hollywood, there's only the indie scenes, and you see the levels. Like 1 minute you're in packed arenas with thousands of people. Next thing you know, you're having a wrestling match in a basketball court, in an indoor gym or something like that. It's like it goes from one extreme to the other sometimes for some of these guys.
I kind of like to call it the Playboy curse, because like, remember when they used to have them pose for Playboy, and then after Playboy, like they'd be gone, like that'd be it. Like you would see them in Playboy, and then it would be like, oh, okay, so and so is in Playboy, and then they're out of WWE literally the next minute, because they're all like, oh yeah, I don't need this shit. I made it in Playboy. My career will take off now, and they never really do most of the time after that. Sunny, I don't think ever posed for Playboy, but I think she got a big head and thought like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm the shit. I was dating Shawn Michaels at the time. And then the next thing you know, Shawn up and left her. And then that was it. And she's been, I think, a train wreck ever since.
I thought she was
time.
dating Candido.
Yeah, she was also dating Candido too. She was dating both of them at the same time. And then Candido passed away in 2005, and I don't think her life ever became the same after that.
Well, like I said, I hope she can get rehabilitated and serve her time and come back into this world a better person, because that's, in my opinion, that's what the prison system needs to do with majority of people who go in there, to get them back on the right track, and I'm hoping that she's one of those people, because I don't think at any point in her life did she expect to be in her 50s, down and out, looking like Roseanne Barr. You know what I mean? Being a junkie and all of that. I don't think she ever predicted that at the height of her fame. So let's just hope things do improve for her in the future.
Yep.
Okay, but anyway, back to
Let's
WrestleMania.
get into WrestleMania. All right. Night one, we're kicking off with the Usos versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. Oh, man. Thoughts have to go out to Rick Boogs. Dude, busting his knee like that, tearing his patella tendon. That sucks.
For real?
Yeah.
So when he carried both guys, or?
Yep. Tore his tendon. Tore his patella tendon. For real.
My God. I thought, so it's amazing. It's hard to know what's a work and what isn't nowadays.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice if the referee did the X sign or not. But but credit to Shinsuke for carrying the match without Boogs. First time I've heard of Boogs, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen him around,
opener.
but I haven't seen him work. This is the first time I think I've seen him work.
He's he looks like Freddie Mercury in a onesie. You know what I mean? And great opener, I will say.
Yeah, very good opener.
WrestleMania always needs to start well. And usually is always good. That's why you always see some sort of fancy gimmick match, but no, just a traditional tag team championship match.
Tag team match. Well.
Yeah, and very, very good. I enjoyed it.
So So tag match. Thing is that I don't get the whole Rich Boogs why thing, but saying that though, the poor guy. I mean, the thing is that I don't know what went wrong. I don't know whether it was just that they got on at the wrong point and he wasn't ready to catch him or what happened. But something obviously went wrong, and he just he literally he's going to have some surgery. So
yeah, he's already had it, and God knows how long he'll be out, but he'll be back.
Knee injuries.
Trust me, we're going to get to that.
Yeah. Knee injuries, mate. Like they're a killer. Like they can really shorten your career. Anyways, what was next on the card?
Okay, Drew McIntyre defeats Happy Corbin with Madcap Moss. This was all right. I mean, the highlight of this was Drew became the first person to ever kick out of the end of days finisher. That is the longest finisher that I think has ever been protected in recent memory because nobody's ever kicked out of it until now. Now it's going to be just another spot. What?
One-Winged Angel.
One-Winged Angel, yeah. Has anyone kicked out of that yet?
They have in other companies, but not in AEW yet.
Oh, okay. Not in AEW, so yeah.
It's a shit finisher as well. It looks like fucking... it looks like... When I saw it done by Corbin, it looked like he was getting hit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
it looks like he takes it with the way he does it. Like he does it, he flips the guy and then he just falls right on his back, and it's like, is that supposed to hurt you or the other guy?
Yeah. He looks like he's getting rock bottomed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I remember when Big E used to do the big ending, and he would make it look like a big splash, but he looked like he did it to himself. And I'm like, they sold that as the most devastating finisher of all time. But then luckily he altered it a little bit. I'm like, that's what you should do. But I thought this match was okay. I mean, honestly, I don't care if I ever see these two guys ever work again. And Drew McIntyre breaking the ropes with the sword after the match was just random and served no real purpose because the sword.
Please get rid of that fucking sword before you guys regret it. I'm telling you, you guys are gonna regret it one day. He's got a huge fucking sword. He's swinging it around in the open audience. You know what I mean?
If someone gets sliced with that thing, that's it. Yeah.
His palms can get sweaty and shit like that. You know what I mean? He can slip out of his hand.
Yep.
Someone could honestly, seriously.
I was going to take it.
Get rid of this shit.
I was going to take it for his hand. It's going to hurt somebody because he looks legit.
Yep.
Yeah, and look, yes, he's Scottish. He's got a fucking kilt on. That's all you fucking need. All right, it's not Braveheart. All right, get rid of that fucking sword.
But they'll never take my freedom.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, but this was okay. Yeah. I don't give a shit if they ever work again. I've seen it. Don't need to see it again.
I want to see Drew McIntyre main eventing again whilst he's still got the credibility.
Yes, please.
You know what I mean?
Please.
Because before you know it, he's gonna lose that credibility as a main eventer. So get him back in the main event scene immediately.
Yeah, now. All right, boss man. Thoughts?
I thought it was a decent match. Did what it needed to do. I just don't know where Happy Corbin goes from it. I'm just hoping that he loses the Happy gimmick because I do think that guy who plays Happy Corbin, the fact I'm saying the word playing, but the guy who does Happy Corbin needs a better gimmick than Happy Corbin because he's got the great face. He's obviously a great athlete, and they could be using that rather than this whole junky thing that they're giving him.
I think they totally messed up by turning him way too soon. I think they could have ran with broke ass, bum ass Baron Corbin a lot longer. Like if they would have had this go on for a year, and then by this time it would have been like, oh, okay, it's WrestleMania. Broke Baron Corbin, won the Royal Rumble, and then he finally wins the world title or does some kind of huge achievement at WrestleMania. That would have been cool because then I would have been like, oh, okay, cool. I like it. But they ruined it way too soon, as they do everything.
I think he's lost in limbo a little bit. Plus, honestly, I find it very distracting when I see somebody wearing a button shirt wrestling. Mm-hmm. Like if you don't like that tattoo on his chest, put a t-shirt on him. You know what I mean? Put a vest on him. You know, something to figure hugging that doesn't reveal the fucking. But it's obviously there to cover the tattoo, in my opinion.
He's gone from being a waiter at Applebee's to being like a default fucking GTA 6 character. Makes you wonder what they're gonna do next.
Yeah, exactly. So
all right, next match. Miz and Logan Paul versus the Mysterios. Why couldn't we just get Miz versus Rey Mysterio? That's a match in and of itself that could have been a banger at WrestleMania. Leave it alone.
I think it's been done too many times, man.
That too, yeah.
It's been done too many times. These guys have been fighting each other for fucking years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This adds a bit of spice, and I have to tip my hat to Logan Paul. Like
he gets it. He gets it.
Yeah.
I know excellent. I know a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, Logan Paul can't play a heel." He can play a heel. He's a dick, so it works. It's like you got to let Logan Paul be a dick. They fucked up though by having the Miz turn on Logan Paul, and I'm like, okay, so you have the heel team get the win, and then the Miz turns on Logan Paul, and then they're having Logan Paul as a baby face going forward. Why? No, I don't want that. Why? I don't want Logan as a babyface.
I'm hoping it'll be a heel versus heel encounter.
Yeah, that's what I want.
A heel versus heel encounter. Also, really good to see that Mysterio is still going on after all these years. I mean, like his style of wrestling, which is more of a young man's game. It's good to see that he still can do it, and it's good to see Dominic not so green anymore. He's gotten better. His own, yeah, very excellent match. I expected the heels to win, and I wasn't surprised, but I think the turn on Logan Paul was stupid.
Yeah, that's my thoughts as well. I think it was a good match. It was all right. They've done it to death. Logan Paul versus The Miz is going to be a reality soon. I don't want it, but what can you do, boss man?
One more thing. Like I think sometimes Vince needs to realize is that you can be a popular person and be disliked. Like when he brought in Floyd Mayweather, he wanted Floyd Mayweather to be the face, and everyone was booing the fuck out of Mayweather and started cheering Big Show.
And they went with it anyway.
Or they switched it around, but it's obviously Mayweather was going to win. But the point is that you can be a recognized person, and very popular, but unlikable. And so if Vince would understand that, he would have kept fucking Logan Paul heel, and hopefully he will remain heel.
Yeah.
Sorry, boss man. I apologize.
I doubt it, but go ahead, boss man.
I wouldn't have minded this so much if we didn't get about 3 or 4 different celebrity matches, because this was I think this is the first of like 3 celebrity matches we got. Because we got this, we got the
Jackass match.
The Jackass match, and then we had I'm sure we had another one.
Yeah, Pat McAfee, if you count him as a celebrity.
Yeah, Pat McAfee. So we had 3 celebrities already on this. So I would have rather just had one of them. I get it. Logan Paul is in good shape, and I can understand why, because he's been doing that celebrity fighting thing that he's been doing. He looked fine. I don't like him as a person because he's a complete knob, but but he channels that, and I like that. But I've got to say, Rey Mysterio could still be great for a guy of his age, and Dominic Mysterio is obviously coming on. Miz, I just don't know what he's done to piss people off to get himself into this, because not that long ago he was WWE champion. But anyway, apart from that,
he was still pissing people off. He's just a Miz, dude. That's who he is. He's loud and obnoxious, and he's going to cash in on that. That's how it's going to be. There's no some people will remain a face for a majority of their career. He's going to be a heel for a majority of his career. Yeah. It'll be like Ric Flair. Like once he's maybe in the 60s, people will start appreciating him and start cheering his ass. But yeah, until then, they'll fucking boo him.
Good fucking match. All right, and then the match of the night, easily, and a match of the year contender, Bianca Bel Air versus Becky Lynch. Oh my God, this was awesome.
This is a clinic.
Yeah, this is.
Sorry, boss man, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, boss man, go ahead and start with this one.
So I didn't know what this match was going to be like, because the last time we saw these guys fight, it was SummerSlam.
And it lasted like 30 seconds.
That lasted about 3 seconds. So you don't know what kind of chemistry these people would have. And I've got to say, it was an excellent match. I mean, the fact is that they were actually doing echoes of what happened, last SummerSlam. Because I actually thought that Bianca Bel Air was going to do the reverse, and we're going to get a 5-second match where she.
I thought that too. Like I thought Bianca was going to hit her finisher, and that was it. But they tried that, and then it was like, oh, okay, cool. We're actually going to get a match now.
No, but I've got to say they tore it down. I mean, they had a really good match. They bell to bell. I've got to say, I thought it was easily probably the best women's match I've seen in quite some time. You know, their time was impeccable. Their facials was great, and I actually believed everything they presented. The only thing that I've got to say that a slight criticism is that like I hated the entrances. I mean, because Bianca Bel Air had that same Texas flaming marching band thing. No, she's not from Texas. She's from bloody Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Not Phil. No, it's
What
not.
are you gonna do?
She's not Phil, Tennessee. Why not get like I don't know, the University of Tennessee marching band or maybe I don't know. I'm sure they've got a very famous band that comes from Knoxville, Tennessee that they can have like play it to the ring or something. I mean, that would.
Yeah, but it's Texas. But I thought this was possibly the match of the entire weekend. I really did. I thought it was that good. I thought, like, oh my God, out of both nights, this was a fucking wrestling clinic. Like, if you haven't seen this yet, you need to go out of your way to see this. Bianca Belair becomes the champion again, and I hope that she holds the belt till SummerSlam. But we'll see what they do with it. But Big Time Bex is living up to her name, Big Time Bex, going out there, being big time, and putting on kick-ass matches. It's what she does. And it was a hell of a match. Sam?
When it comes to this particular WrestleMania and it comes to just a wrestling match, no fucking gimmicks, nothing like that. This was the best of the lot. You know what I mean? Without a doubt. And it goes to show that when you have a match, when you have a wrestling match, you know, you get a couple of decent wrestlers in there and they can really tear down the house. And these two girls did that. I think sometimes when you go in there with not necessarily with low expectations or high expectations when it came to this match, but just all right, these two are on now, see what happens, and then they start performing, and you think, wow. And that term back and forth gets used a lot, but this was a back and forth. You know what I mean? They were 1 minute Becky's on top, then Belair's on top, and I really enjoyed that style of wrestling matches. You know, and it was really, really good. You couldn't tell who was going to win it. Outcome was fantastic. Both of these girls have done their credibility, no harm whatsoever. You know, the future looks bright for both of them. They are right now two of the best women wrestlers out there. Charlotte Flair, look out, because I looked at her as one of the best, and at the moment she's getting some duds under her belt.
Yeah,
and these two girls are showing, you know, real clinic-like abilities. Just absolutely fantastic. And if Night One ended on this, people would have left very happy.
Yeah, if they would have main evented with this, but I could understand why they didn't. I would have been like, oh, okay, cool. But, you know, it was a great match. All right, and then it's going to be a little emotional. We got babyface racism ending Cody Rhodes back in WWE. All is right with the world. That man ended racism, and he comes out with his AEW theme, and I shed tears, man. I thought it was beautiful. America, fuck yeah. But anyway, okay, so Seth Rollins comes out and he's like, who the fuck is my opponent? And then, you know, the lights go out, and then Cody Rhodes comes on the mic and is like, wrestling is more than one royal family. Cody Rhodes comes out to Kingdom, his AEW theme, AEW gear, all that kind of shit. Everybody knew it was coming. It was the worst kept secret since Brian Christopher was Jerry Lawler's kid. I'm dating myself. But, yeah. This was actually really, really good. Seth Rollins, I think, doesn't get the credit that he deserves. Dude can put on banger after banger of a match, and this was no exception. I thought it was great. Cody Rhodes with the win. It was the right call because they're giving Cody that big push right now, which we will, I'm sure, get into talking about Monday Night Raw. But I thought this kicked ass. What'd you guys think?
To go first, Sam, or do you want me to?
Yep.
You go first if you want, mate.
I thought this was a tremendous match. I mean, to us, he couldn't really follow the last match, in my personal opinion, which is a shame because I mean, like the fact that we got those two really good matches, I'd rather that one of them was on the next night so it could be judged on its own merits because I thought this was a really, really good match. The only problem is that Seth Rollins has got to be the cringiest wrestler I've seen in some time. He's so embarrassing with everything he fucking well does. From the facials to the entrance to his flapping his arms like he's a bird to the way to his eyes to the way he matched his mouth. I mean, it's got to be the most. I mean, for a guy who's as talented as he is, bell to bell, the things he asked him to do, goodness me.
But it works because as a heel, you can go there. You can be cringy. You can be weird. You can be crazy. And Seth Rollins pulls off all that shit. I thought it was fucking fantastic. As soon as you're done making out with your bird, Sam, I'd like to get your thoughts on this.
Thank you. She's eating. I'm not making it. But first of all, I would put maybe Seth Rollins in tweener territory.
Yeah.
Personally. And he is without doubt, after watching this match, and seeing him in several wrestling matches, he is this generation's Chris Jericho.
Oh, yeah.
This guy could lose every fucking day.
And still come out looking like better than everybody else.
And still be accepted as a top tier guy. He could still be considered as a main eventer, all of that, because he's so fucking good at what he does.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a double-edged sword, really, because, you want to be recognized as one of the best guys, but at the same time, you're so fucking good that you help elevate others. And when in this time around, his job was to elevate Cody Rhodes as he was making his comeback. There was no way Cody Rhodes was going to lose this fucking match.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? But yeah, this is more about Seth Rollins than Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes coming back, whatever. You know what I mean? We'll see how. All I care. I mean, he's just come back. What matters is what he does within the next 12 months. Yeah. You know what I mean? We'll see how that pans out. But Seth Rollins, he's the motherfucking man. He is more reliable than people give him credit for, and probably more reliable than Vince would like to tell him.
He's going to be a dude that I think gets the John Cena treatment of like, oh, we don't like this guy, but then you guys are going to miss him over time. I could already see that happening now. Where he might be underappreciated for a little bit.
Do you think people dislike him like John Cena? I mean, I'm not sure about that.
I've heard people be like, oh, Seth Rollins is kind of overrated, kind of this, kind of that. I'm like, wow. I don't know if I'd go that far. I don't know if I'd call him overrated. I mean, yeah, cringe I could understand, but overrated, nah.
And the other reason I call him Jericho as well is that he seems to be very reinventive. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He's his gimmicks, his characters, his personas, they change. They're always evolving. Yeah. Nothing changing, evolving. You know what I mean? So
he's not more than it's like he did the Shield thing. That was probably his longest tenured gimmick. And then he went on to be the architect / face of the Authority. Then he went on to, being the Kingslayer, fighting Triple H. And then he went on to being the Drip God with the outfits and the Monday Night Messiah and all this crap, being the savior of Monday Night Raw. And, Seth Rollins is the man. But, okay, moving forward. Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey. There was no way in hell they were following Becky and Bianca. I'm just going to put it that way. It was a good match, but they had absolutely no chance of topping it. They tried, but it didn't work. It was a good match, but it wasn't great. And Charlotte Flair retains over Ronda Rousey. And, that's it.
I would like to start by saying this match I did not see. So I've got nothing to say on it.
Okay. Bossman.
Considering how good the female match was the night before, this was never going to compare, and it doesn't. By quite some distance, it doesn't. I mean, the thing is that Charlotte Flair could do a lot, but I don't think she could. She couldn't carry Ronda. Ronda's greenness showed up. I mean, I mean, the thing is that she made Charlotte look bad because, just when Charlotte does that double moonsault thing where she comes off the top and then does a moonsault standing.
Yep.
She missed that twice and that wasn't her fault. That's because Rousey wasn't in the right place to take it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think what else. There's other spots where, it was obviously Charlotte was helping her and stuff like that, and it's just but apparently Rousey was shouting backstage that she deserved to win, and she's a big star, and people need to just appreciate her. So fuck off, Ronda. I hated this match.
Is it me, or has Ronda Rousey's return not been that great because
it ain't you. It ain't you. I can tell you that it's not you. I'm thinking the same thing. It's like the mistake that they made was not having Ronda be all like, here's the deal. I'm back for the money because fuck each and every last one of you. That's how Ronda needed to be from the start. But they've made her like this baby face of like, oh, I love all you.
They do that all the time.
Yeah,
they do that all. They really misunderstand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, misunderstand. Shit. I think Ronda Rousey bring up, and then they did that with Batista as well. Like,
yeah, hi, I'm back. I've missed all of you. No, fuck that. I'm here for the cash. I want to get paid. Like, how hard is that of a heel concept?
You can be popular and come back as a fucking heel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, does Vince not understand that? It drives me nuts. Shit.
Mm-hmm. So I think we all got the same take about Ronda, where it's just like, okay, it was good seeing you, but fuck off. We don't really care.
Our honeymoon period is
it's over. Yeah, it's over. But okay, speaking of honeymoon, the match that we actually thought, I will openly admit, I never thought we would fucking see this. Stone Cold Steve Austin and KO. KO comes out. He introduces Steve Austin. Austin goes around throwing shit. And KO gets on the mic and he's like, here's the deal. I came out here because I want to kick your ass and I want you to fight me in a match. And Austin's like, get me a fucking referee. Let's go. I can't really grade this because it's like, it's one of those things where Stone Cold, he's 57 years old. But I will say this, props to Steve for taking bumps. I'm surprised that he was able to take suplexes. I'm surprised
on the concrete, man.
On the concrete and on the rampway. Props to Steve Austin. But this is it. It's time. It was a good send off, but he showed up for night 2, which we'll talk about. But for Steve Austin to have his last match against KO idolizing Stone Cold. I thought for KO, this is probably going to be his best Mania moment ever. And he will never be able to top this moment. Being able to work with your idol is going to say a lot more than winning championships and this and that. But what a hell of a match!
You could tell, like some things just looked like Steve was doing it in slow motion at times, and the guy can't lift up his legs anymore. So when he was dumping those mud holes, they look kind of pathetic.
Yep.
To be honest with you, but that aside, it was good to see them having this hardcore match and them fighting all over the place and stuff like that. It felt like a barroom brawl in the arena, which is how you'd want it with someone like Steve Austin. And you're reluctant for people to make a comeback because of injuries and so on, and them not getting any younger. But props to him for being able to pull it off. Props to Kevin Owens for making sure that you're working with a proper pro like Owens who's there to keep him safe. I'm not sure if Stone Cold winning this was ideal, because Kevin Owens getting a win over Stone Cold Steve Austin would have done him the world of fucking good.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. It would have done him the world of fucking.
It would have been like, I'm the one that put Steve Austin away. KO could live off of that the rest of his career.
But I understand why he did, because again, I think because it would have been Texas,
it's nostalgia. It's nostalgia. That's why they did it.
I mean, it did what it did. I mean, it wasn't going to be any great shits because Stone Cold Steve Austin is 59, but it's still what it is. But I thought decent enough. Oh, trust me, we're going to get to real bad shit in a bit.
Yeah, we're going to get to. You are going to have things to say. I know you. You're going to have a rant. So yeah, you've got a time to rant. So moving forward.
But just to wrap this up,
night 1 was amazing. I think
it was good. Like nostalgic wise, it was good to see Stone Cold back. It was good to see him have his one more fucking match. But next time, don't leave it 20 years apart. Yeah, but other than that, fair enough. Props to him that he pulled it off.
And then speaking of, unrelated, well, kind of related. One more match. They brought the Undertaker and all the Hall of Famers out to trot them out. Twice. So you got to see the Undertaker come out and, do the, I'm here. Thank you, Taker. Thank you, Taker. Please, God, don't come back. But thank you, Undertaker. All right. Night 2. RK Bro defeat the Street Profits and the Alpha Academy in a triple threat tag team match player for the Raw Tag Team Championships.
All
I
right.
thought this was a pretty good opener.
Look, I
Right.
got really angry when Michael Cole mentioned that they're lucky that this isn't a disqualification match. Well, if it's no disqualification match and it's a tag team match, it immediately becomes, as far as I'm concerned, a tornado match because there's no fucking disqualification.
Yeah.
So why are these guys acting like it's a proper tag team match? Stuff like that grinds my fucking gears. But nevertheless, the spots. Look, with this match, you had some double team finishes that should have been 3 counts. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Flying bulldogs off the top rope, fucking flying jackhammers, off the top rope, double team ones. And yet these guys are kicking out of that shit. But nevertheless, that RKO off the top rope was a single beauty.
I'll never get tired of seeing it. Yeah, I'll never get tired of seeing RKOs off the top. Fantastic opener.
Yeah, good execution. A good bunch of guys all mixed up. That fucking, what's his name? Gable
Stevenson. Okay, so after
why is he is the clone of Kurt Angle. Yeah. It's freaky. It's freaky, mate.
It's a black
man. But anyway.
And they've been putting that motherfucker over big time. Like we forgot to mention this, but I think on night 1 they had Stephanie come out and put him over and introduce him like, oh, this is the next big signing of like WWE, Gable Stevenson, and it's like, okay, he's going to be a big fucking deal. Because if you got Stephanie McMahon...
sorry. Is Gable Stevenson the black guy, yeah?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the other guy who looks like Kurt Angle.
Chad Gable.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. My God,
he's very good. Yeah, he's scary good.
Gable Stevenson to me looks like a generic asshole. That's what he looks like.
Everything about him is look.
He looks amazing because I think he's like won the NCAA championship.
Yeah, he just won the NCAA championship
twice, and he won like Olympic gold and stuff like that. So he's a legit guy, but
he's a legit wrestler.
But he just looks like a guy.
Yeah, but we don't know what they're going to do with him yet, though. But time will tell. But yeah, I thought this was a good opener, and then after that,
this Gable Stevenson guy, I guarantee he doesn't go anywhere. You know what I mean? I guarantee it. I feel like there's so much backing him. I think it's going to end up backfiring. I think he's going to go nowhere.
Here's what I think is going to happen. I think he might get the Drew McIntyre 2009 treatment, if you know what I mean. Like they'll put him over big time. Yeah, they'll put him over big time, and then they'll flounder him. Because they did that with Drew McIntyre. They're like, oh, yeah, this dude will be a future world champion one day. It took dude years to get there. It will probably
over a decade.
Yeah. But Chad Gable's a freak. Why that dude is not a single star, I'll never know. But they'll get there one day with him, I hope. But I thought this was a damn good opener. Okay, anything else? Anybody else got anything to add?
Props to Randy Orton that he can come back as a face now.
Yeah.
And with that fucking porn star mustache and all of that. But yeah, I mean, it's really good to see him finally get the plaudits he probably deserves. And he looks like he's enjoying himself again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is quite fascinating.
All right.
Anyway.
And then Bobby Lashley versus Omos. I was surprised by this. I actually thought this was going to be kind of a shit show, but I thought it turned out to be an all right match for what it was. And Omos is muddy, and Bobby Lashley gets the win over Omos, knocking him off his feet, doing big shit. I conquered the giant. Where they're going with Bobby Lashley, mega babyface, 2007 style push where he'll dominate everybody on the roster, a la John Cena. That's where they're getting ready to go with Bobby. And I thought Omos might be money someday. I think he might end up being a big giant dude that could actually do some shit. But we'll see where it goes.
All right. I didn't mind this match. I had no idea. I mean, come to think of it, it should have been obvious that Bobby Lashley was going to win this. But almost, he does look like, when it comes to like these superior big men, I mean, like your Big Shows and your Carlys and Andres and all of that, like this next level big man, almost looks like he's got something about him. He screams and roars a lot. But he does seem to have that it factor to a degree. So yeah, it'll be good, but don't let him lose too much, or he's not going to be. No,
you got to protect him. You got to make it mean something when he loses. But WWE doesn't have that. All right, boss man.
I wish I was as nice as you guys, but I'm going to be nasty.
Oh, go ahead.
I hate fucking homos and he's theming Untitled Chapter. I like that. He's got to be one of the worst big men I've seen in quite some time. And the thing is that like Bobby Lashley tried to move this motherfucker around. I couldn't do it. I mean, Bobby Lashley is a legit powerful dude. I couldn't like this guy is so awkward and gangly. Like there's a moment in the match. I don't know if you saw this where the guy nearly fell on the floor.
Yeah, he did.
It's like the guy's a complete cretin, and I don't know why they're working with him. Go back
They
to
see money in him.
NXT.
They see money in him. They see money in him.
Go back to NXT, have him work because I do think that there is talent there. He's just he's on TV too soon, in my opinion.
Okay, and all right, got to talk about it. Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. Boss man, take it.
Fuck my life. Right. Good. I'm all for comedy matches, but I'm not for comedy matches that are like 15 minutes fucking long. Where Johnny Knoxville, that talentless hack, is like throwing comedy hands and throwing rolling bowling balls into people's crotches and putting giant mouse traps that he took into evidence and having a naked guy strip off, having him dance in a thong. No, I'm sure there may be like female or even males at certain tweeters that like to see Chris Pointer's ass. Do you know what I could do well without seeing it again in my entire life? The fact I had to see it in this without wanting it. Then I saw a midget give a
body slam to Sami Zayn.
Body slam like Paul and Sami Zayn. Who has Sami Zayn slept with? Or who is he pissed off to get this? Was it because he didn't go to Saudi Arabia? Is this what he's getting as punishment that he has to do this crap? Where he's getting like, I mean, this is ridiculous. Who booked this crap? Anyway, sorry. And awful match. Awful.
You're in the minority, dude. I think you're gonna be in the minority because, as I said, like in the beginning, I'm like, this is sports entertainment, and that's clearly what it is. It's like, yeah, I'll agree that it did go on, I think, a bit too long, but the thing that I pop most for, Mark Henry and Mae Young's son, the Hand, made an appearance and slapped the shit out of Sami Zayn, and I thought that
came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
really
that came out of nowhere. Yeah. I thought for a comedy match, dude, this was fucking awesome because I know a lot of people are like, I know Dave Meltzer had a fucking tizzy fit. Fuck that guy. But it's
and
like,
so
dude,
did Jim Cornette. He didn't like it
so
either.
did Cornette, but it's like, dude, come on, man. Comedy has a place in wrestling, and there's going to come a time AEW is going to do something equally as stupid. I guarantee you.
AEW has done shit equally as stupid.
Yeah,
that match in that fucking stadium, which looked like a mad world, but in a wrestling match, and you had Matt Hardy come out in his different versions after being drowned. Yep. I mean, they've done the stupidity themselves, like. But if I can interject and say that I love this match.
Yeah, it was fun. That's what wrestling.
I love this match. I'm really sorry, boss man. Yeah. I was highly entertained.
I was laughing my ass off throughout from beginning to end. I thought it was great.
When Party Guy came in, I thought, shit, a fucking Mark has just run into the ring. Some stupid fan and stuff. And then the commentators were very quickly to mention, this is one of the Jackass guys and stuff like that. And then obviously Wee Man coming in there and he's like throwing bombs and stuff. And the body slam was epic. But man, there's nothing more funnier when you see God, this word is so politically incorrect now, but I'll say it as well. When you see a midget getting hit, you know what I mean? And he did that boot in the face.
Man, I popped for that. Like I was like, yeah, okay, cool.
I love it.
Wee Man, it was great.
I remember like a long time ago, was it WrestleMania 3 or something like that, where like King Kong Bundy done like a power
did
slam
that to the Haiti kid or whatever.
Oh God, I loved it. I fucking loved it. So but nevertheless, some of the stuff was absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it was supposed to be hokey. It was supposed to be stupid, and they accomplished it. They totally.
Yeah, props to Sami Zayn as well, like for helping pull this off. Yeah, like his ringing tricks was really bizarre, by the way. Like the way he moves and like his jacket off.
He was walking all weird and shit.
Yeah. But yeah. Oh, by the way, I just want to quickly go back to the Stone Cold match. One second, I forgot to mention this. How many fucking beers did he drink in that match? he was drinking fucking beer like it was going out of fashion.
Not
Like
enough.
every time he was like, I think it was like, this guy's gonna get drunk on the job, literally. But yeah, I forgot to mention that, by the way. But yeah, he was drinking all the fucking time. But going back to this match,
I loved it.
I loved it. I fucking loved it. I really did. You know, like these matches are blue mooners. So just appreciate it now and again. And if it works, it works, and it worked this time around. And Johnny Knoxville, yes, he is a glorified stuntman. I'll agree with you with that. Talentless hack. I don't know, but he's got something about him that has kept him relevant. Yeah, you know what I mean, but he's basically hurting himself. But yeah, don't try this at home, kids. That's for sure.
Yeah. Okay, and then the women's tag team title match. Why the fuck they have these things, I don't know. Sasha Banks and Naomi defeat Carmella and Queen Zelina, and Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley and Natalya and Shayna Baszler in a match that lasted 10 minutes. I thought this was your typical Monday Night Raw women's tag team match, and I thought it was okay. I mean, Naomi and Sasha finally got the W. I thought that the ladies all pulled in their effort. Was it going to top Becky and Bianca? No, but it didn't need to. I thought this was fine for what it was. But question is, will they make the women's tag titles mean anything worth a damn? I doubt it, but who knows? But congrats to Sasha and Naomi. All right, Zam.
I actually got distracted by my phone watching this. I think after watching the hardcore match, and it was Knoxville and Zayn was a hardcore match. This match became my piss break match, unfortunately, and it kind of like it might have been good, but I wasn't able to take any interest in it. Like too many fucking ring entrances for a start, man. Jesus Christ. Like, so many fucking people. Like it was very hard to like focus and give a damn.
Yep.
Not knocking it might have been good, but it just followed. It just followed a match that was very draining if you're an audience member. You know what I mean, and they had to like recoup, and this was the match to recoup. Yeah. All
right, boss man.
I just wish I cared. And the thing is, what has Paul Rhea Ripley done to piss me off? I mean, I keep asking this, and I swear that I'm not repeating myself here, but Rhea Ripley must have like shagged somebody's white husband behind the scenes, or blown somebody that she shouldn't have. Because my God, that woman's stock has gone downhill since she was like WWE champion not that long ago. I think she was last in WrestleMania, wasn't it? That she was WrestleMania, she was WWE champion, and now she's next. She's having to prop up whoever she's working with now.
Liv Morgan.
With Liv Morgan, who, like, no offense, that Rhea Ripley should be a main event star because that's what she has the potential to do.
You know, when she's not looking like Marilyn Manson, she's fucking gorgeous, by the way. She's a beautiful fucking woman. And like, I think they should I mean, I know what she I mean, it's up to her. If she likes looking like the way she does on stage, then more power to her. But they could go with a different look for her. I mean, she doesn't need to fucking look like Marilyn Manson all the time. She's fucking gorgeous, man. She really is. She's fucking gorgeous. Yeah. Anyways, that's me and my masculine opinion. Anyways, I'll move on.
All right. Match of the night. Here we go. Edge versus AJ. I knew this was going to bang. I knew it was going to be really, really good. I know a lot of people are giving it shit because they're like, oh, these guys are slow. Let's see how well you move when you're in your fucking mid to late 40s, people. Holy crap. Edge and AJ was fantastic. This is a match that people, I think, need to go out of their way to see. I really do. I like that Edge has reinvented himself. I like the fact that Edge has gotten darker. I like the fact that, spoilers, Damian Priest is now joined up with Edge, and I like that Rhea Ripley may be joining Edge, and Tommaso Ciampa may also be in that stable too. I think Edge, this is the shot in the arm that he needed. He needed a heel turn. He needed to kick AJ in the dick because everyone does that. But I thought this was great for what it was. Edge is awesome. And so is AJ. Go see this match, people.
I have to say that I did miss this match, unfortunately, and I will watch it after we've done this review. But it seems to me regarding Edge that he comes back into WWE. He's faced for about 2 or 3 months, and then boom, they heel turn his ass. You know what I mean? And it seems to be a common thing with him. So it'd be really nice that he would, like they can't wait to turn him heel. I don't know what it is. Maybe he's just better as a heel, but by this what you mentioned regarding this new stable, it sounds like a 2022 version of the Brood is it the Brood?
The Brood and the Ministry. I'm kind of picking up on a little bit of both.
Yeah. By the vibe we're seeing with these sort of gothic wrestlers in his stable. So that's what I'm feeling. He's the new Gangrel.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And but yeah, Edge pretending heel, like, fuck me, man. That's inevitable.
You knew it was coming. Yeah,
they do it all the time. They can't wait to turn his ass heel. You know what I mean? So yeah.
All right, boss man.
No, a pretty decent match. It's pretty solid. I think that's what I needed after that crap. But certainly better than the match that's coming next, which is another match that I'm going to have a rant about. But yeah, pretty decent. I mean, two really good talents, and I'm liking this like sort of darker edge. Like, I loved the entrance for Edge where he had this like black throne and he had the fire and everything. That was awesome. It was actually trying to be a lot of Triple H's entrance. So.
Oh yeah, okay. Speaking of, I forgot to mention something. Triple H came out to open the show with his boots, signaling that his career is officially over, which I believe it is. You got a defibrillator in your chest, that means you ain't coming back. And more than likely, he ain't coming back. Thank you, Triple H. That's all that really needs to be said.
Yeah, his time is done. And considering, like, when you become a part-timer and some sort of, like, in the vein of Undertaker, and now probably John Cena as well, where you're only coming back for, like, the odd pay-per-view and just to, like, sell some seats, and you're pretty much on the road to retirement anyway. So yeah, I want him to never not only wrestle again but never take a bump again.
Oh, I'm going to get him to never wrestle again and never take a bump again here in about the next couple matches, if you know what I mean. But
yeah, juicy.
Right. Anything to add, boss man, about Triple H coming out and kind of saying goodbye with his boots?
It's good to see, like, hugging his kids and I think that was a classy thing to do. And, like, a lot of the people who are on this thing now, who are women, are all Triple H projects. So I think that's a good legacy to leave behind. And I agree with you. I hope he doesn't come back.
Yeah, I don't want him coming back. All right, and then Sheamus and Rich Holland fucking killed the New Day. And, like, I can't even talk about this because the New Day just got wrecked. They come out in Big E gear, and then they just beat the piss out of the New Day, and it's over. And it was like, okay, so they got bumped off of night one to go to night two, and then they just get destroyed. And that's it. Sheamus' new stable is fucking powerful as all hell. That's the message that they're sending.
So Sheamus is, like, trying to do some sort of, like, like some sort of, like, street gang sort of, like, English hoodlum or Irish hoodlum type thing by the sounds of it. I always feel that somebody becomes like a sacrificial lamb at not only WrestleMania but pay-per-views in general. And this is the second time now that Sheamus has been the sacrifice, the person making the sacrifice. You know what I mean? He did it to Daniel Bryan all those years ago, and now he's doing it on the New Day. When you're doing WrestleMania, we deserve better than this. But this is what they feel they need to do now and again. And these are Monday Night Raws, Friday Night SmackDown type things get put on the pay-per-view. You pay to watch wrestling, and then you get given this. You know what I mean? So I'm not a fan of this sort of style. Not a fan that it's done to, like, veterans like the New Day. Kofi Kingston, fucking former WWE champion, former main eventer. Like, what the fuck, man? You know what I mean? Seriously, what the fuck?
Yep.
Yeah.
Boss man, anything to add?
Okay. That's all good. Because I wish I could, because I like the New Day, but and what the bloody hell has Paul Pete done to piss people off? This seems to be like my question with that too. What has X person done to piss people off? Because I asked him replay, and now I'm asking with what has Paul Pete done to piss somebody off? Is it because he's a vegan?
Well,
I mean, I'm not
actually,
with that, but...
I want to agree with you on something regarding New Day. Like, I'm not saying that the New Day needs to split up and be hating each other, but like, I think they've run their course, man.
It's over.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's over.
Like they can still be friends and they can do get together in 3 or 4 years' time. They can go down a nostalgia trip, and the New Day has a one night only get together or whatever. But like, Kofi Kingston's a main eventer. I mean, Xavier, so is Big E when he does come back. And Xavier Woods, like, in my opinion, Xavier Woods needs to be a manager.
Yeah.
I really think
I could see Woods doing one of two things. I could see Woods either as a commentator because he can talk, or I could see him as a manager. I could see him as a manager first, commentator second. Both of which he would do excellent in my view.
Yeah, the guy's a fucking PhD, man. Like, take advantage of that noggin he's got.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not wasting his. Like, you're never going to make him a champion or whatever like
no,
that.
King of the Ring was as high as he's ever going to get.
And you've already got a champion in you got a guy who could, in my opinion, jump back in the main event scene very easily in Kofi Kingston. So just take advantage of these things. You put these guys in certain positions. Just take advantage of it. Like, stop wasting someone like Kofi Kingston's talent doing stupidness like this.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
All right, and then going forward, Pat McAfee shows why he's the fucking MVP versus Austin Theory. This kicked ass for what it was. Pat McAfee, that dude is a fucking superstar with the type of shit that he could do. But man, what a match that was. But the match following, I'm going to have some shit to say about. But,
there's a lot I want to talk about.
When we get to the next part, I've got some shit to talk about. But yeah,
first of all,
Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory kicked ass. It was a banger. I really enjoyed it for what it was.
Austin Theory is the new Randy Orton.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Without a doubt. But Bossman, it looks like you're bursting at the seams here. So I'll let you start.
Go.
But if we talk about just this match, it is great.
Yeah, if we're talking about this is awesome.
But but I'm going to go on the rant in a minute because
you ain't the only one.
Because this match was ruined by what happens in the next match.
Okay, so let's just go there. Pat McAfee gets the win. Michael Cole cheerleads his ass off. And here's the thing, too. This is something that I never thought I'd say. Michael Cole did a good fucking job. I was like, holy shit. Michael Cole is a hype man? Holy hell.
Can we quickly mention the fact that, that there was one spot, which is probably the best spot of the night, was when McAfee was going to do a superplex, gets pushed off the ropes, does a backflip, lands on his feet, and then runs up. Yeah. Runs up and then jumps onto the top rope and then pulls off the superplex. And I remember Jim Cornette saying that, if a regular wrestler done this, you'd be praising them as, for how good they are. This guy's a novice.
Yeah.
He's had 2 or 3 matches in his entire career. And to pull off shit like that, it makes you wonder why he's not wrestling more.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, I've got to give credit to just about everybody involved here. Fantastic. But what do? Here comes old ass Vince McMahon away from ringside, gets in the ring, takes off his shit, and then he's like, "You want to go, Pat? You want to go?" They ring the fucking bell, and then Mr. McMahon proceeds to make Pat McAfee his bitch, and then all this.
I'm laughing my ass off at how bad this is.
I gotta go back 25 years. If this is the last bump Vince McMahon ever fucking takes, it's appropriate that it ends this way. Because he started horribly, he fucking ended horribly, and I know people are gonna hate on it, but I wouldn't change a fucking thing about that stunner bump. I would change nothing about it.
First of all, Vince McMahon, when he took off his jacket and took off his shirt, and you see his arms, and you think, damn, there's no definition anymore.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He hasn't got he always had an amazing physique. The guy kept himself in good shape, but age has finally caught up with him, and no matter how much he goes to the gym, he hasn't got these toned arms anymore. And,
he ain't chiseled like he once was. Because I remember when I first saw him in '99, I was like, damn, dude is chiseled for a 53-year-old. But now you're 76, man, and I'm like, Vince took one of the worst fucking stunners I ever saw, and I'm like,
mate, that was
please God, let that
hilarious.
be it.
It's not just that, but like his match, like we're like McAfee having to sell for Vince, you know, like while Vince is crawling around the ring, you know, flat-footed as anything, and McAfee having to sell all this shit, and then using the football to kick him in the stomach and stuff like that, and
then he
oh
covers
my
him.
god,
Yeah.
oh god, it was so fucking bad, you know. But
this honestly, I wouldn't change it. I would have not done the match per se, but I would have been like, okay, Stone Cold stunning Vince is the way it needed to end. That's how it needs to go, because it's like it started with Austin versus Vince. It needs to end with Austin giving Vince one of the worst stunners.
did Austin give Theory the stunner first?
Yes, and the way Theory sold it,
Theory went
like
a marionette.
Yeah.
Like a fucking marionette with the strings being cut. You know what I mean? Flopping. Oh man, I love it when people oversell the stunner.
Oh yeah, and then to mention the night before too, in the post-victory celebration, Austin stunned Byron. Byron actually took a pretty good stunner. The commentary, yeah.
It is like you know. And I remember Cornette saying like, "This is an honor." Like, you know, you're getting stunned by Stone Cold Steve Austin. You're getting stunned. You 24-year-old Austin Theory is being, you know, it's like you know, somebody of yesteryear generation getting, you know, leg dropped by Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean? It's like that, you know, like, you know, it's a big deal. I'm really happy he fucking gave it everything in that cell. You know what I mean?
He kicked his fucking feet up like he was trying to run mid-air. Like that's how awesome it looked. And it was just like, and then Vince took one of the worst ones, and then Pat took a stunner, and the way Pat did it, Pat just freaking fell like a tree, like he just leapt. And that was it. And then he proceeds to drink a beer on the outside, like after taking the stunner. And I'm like, yep, I wouldn't change that shit either. That was hilarious.
It was hilarious how bad it was.
Yeah.
But, you know, like just seeing Vince being as old as he is, you know, like he can't, he's got no stability anymore. So, like, he gets kicked in the stomach. He can't stay on his feet. And he fell on his knees and stuff. And then you got Austin trying to grab his head.
Yeah, like, come here. And then he's like, I got it. Wham, he dropped him. And then it was like, yeah. It's the way Vince fell. It was hilarious.
Oh, God, that was so funny.
Yep.
And I'm so happy it happened to someone like Vince.
Yeah.
You know, Vince of all people, somebody who doesn't fucking know when it comes to himself, but seems to know everyone else.
All I ask is let this be the last bump Vince ever takes. Please, God, like, don't let Vince take any more bumps. Like, this is the way it needed to end for Vince. This is the last time I ever want to see Vince get physical in the ring ever again. I never want to see that again. I'm like, don't have Vince take any more bumps. The horrible stunner is the way it needs to end. Period. Okay, boss man, go ahead and go.
Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Boss man, you must have loved it.
I hated it. Because they were saying on the night that like they're going, Austin Theory, he's a future WWE champion. He's a future WWE champion who couldn't beat a guy who got his ass kicked by a 76-year-old man. Let us think it. Our next champion, one of our next champions, is a guy who could not beat up a 76-year-old man. I mean, it's embarrassing to watch.
Did Austin Theory interfere?
Yeah,
he did. A little bit.
He kicked the shit out of Pat McAfee to begin with, like after it was over.
Yeah, but like, he still give him he let Pat McAfee get up and give him a clothesline and give him. It was horrible. It was horrible. And then I proceeded then Stone Cold comes in. I thought, all right, great, we're going to get this moment. And then he proceeds to take one of the worst stunners I've ever seen in my life.
And I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it. I thought
the one he took in '96 was bad. This was even worse. Because at first, like, you know, Stone Cold goes to grab him. I looked at like he's like a fiddly. It's like he's like playing an air flute or something like that. Like it's like playing air violin or something like that. I was like, what the fuck is he doing? And everybody is just like, it's like gasping at this like horror show. Is this poor 50-year-old man? It's like Richie in front of this like that, and then he has to turn around, kick him again, try and grab him.
Yeah, and then he just dropped him in the way Vince saw.
You could tell by like Stone Cold's face that he was pissed off.
Yeah, he was like, "What the fuck?"
I don't think he was pissed. I think he was. I don't know.
I think he was laughing. I think he tried so hard not to break. Yeah.
If he was like a full timer and all of that sort of stuff, but he knows us. We know, we all know what's fucking going on. You know what I mean? And regarding Austin Theory, like he's not wrestling full time, and like this was just something really. You got to see it for what it is, between the lines and all of that. You know what I mean? Not take it too seriously and laugh at it. Yeah, you know what I mean, and I laughed at it, man. This was.
You have to look at it like
so bad it's good.
Yeah, you have to look at it like the movie The Room. It's so bad it's good. It's a classic. Yeah, it may be the worst movie of all time, but people still watch it to this day.
Like the Jackass match, I laughed with it. This match, I laughed at it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. This is why WrestleMania was so good. It had so many interesting moments. You know what I mean? You're laughing here for one reason, you're laughing there for another reason. You know what I mean? It's just so good that it was Vince. Like, Vince, you ruined this. Yeah. You ruined this. Your old.
But he did it intentionally. Yeah. He did it.
But he's just lucky that people saw through the facade that they were able to laugh at it. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
76-year-old man, you should be in the fucking ring in the first place.
It's time.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's time. But okay, we got to keep it moving. All right. The main event, the reason that we're all here, Roman Reigns versus Brock. I thought this was good for what it was. The ending seemed rushed to me. I thought for what
it was a very short match, but probably that was a good thing in my opinion.
I wouldn't have made it a 20-minute, 30-minute match. No way.
But it's really hard, to cap off a night like this. That's my thing with WrestleMania and all of that. Like, how do you make this match more superior than what's come on before, especially when these guys have wrestled each other before, and all of that? It's really difficult to be the curtain call match. You know what I mean? And it was all right. It was all right, but it wasn't anything amazing. Like Paul Heyman's fat ass gets involved.
Heyman
in there.
selling his ass off, trying not to take a bump. That was probably that was great. And then the barricade gets fucking smashed through, and then
the only way this would have ended well is I saw somebody do a computer generated on 2K22. They did it online. They made their own storyline, and yet you have Roman Reigns beating Brock Lesnar, wins the belt, and then The Rock comes in. Yeah. And The Rock comes in and rock bottoms Roman Reigns.
Yeah, because we all know that's where it's going. I mean, we all know that WrestleMania is going to be in LA next year, so it's like, why the fuck not? I mean, because I know people are like, retirement matches don't usually exist, and most of the time they don't. The Rock has had like 76 of them. It's like, why not have one more against your cousin for the?
But once again, though, that match will be no different to this match. It'll be like, people are done. Rock is way past his prime as well. He hasn't got it in him to do what he once did, and people are just too tired and just they've had their fill and they want to fucking go home. And unfortunately, that always affects the final match of the fucking night.
Yep.
And very rarely. Yeah.
And the same thing is going to happen next year if they make it a 2-night thing, which it is. It's going to be a 2-night event all over again.
Look, you need to make the last match, in my opinion, a gimmick match. Something to really pop the fans. You can't make it a traditional wrestling match. It's just
it has to be like a no DQ or some such type of shit.
Like where people are pulling out weapons or jumping off cages or whatever. You know what I mean? Because if they don't, then people won't garner an interest in just a box standard wrestling match and just want it to end. You need to add some form of spectacularness, to keep people interested, because sometimes just the wrestlers themselves don't make it interesting. You need a bit more, just the icing on top of the cake. So but all right, it was okay. Could have been worse. It really could have been worse, but unfortunately, by this time I was done.
Yeah, I was about ready to go to bed. I was like, okay, I turned it off as soon as they did the finish, and then it was like, oh, is Rock going to come out? Is Rock going to come out? And then they hit the watermark, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm going to bed.
A heel ends up winning WrestleMania. Very, very rarely does
that happen.
Very
rarely. Yeah, Triple H was the first one to do it, I think.
And then the Miz done it.
Yeah, Miz did it. Who else was one as a heel?
As Lesnar's done it as a heel.
No, he did it
when
as a
he
babyface against Kurt.
when he beat against Roman Reigns the previous time.
Oh yeah, the previous time, yeah. Lesnar did it as a heel.
Yeah.
Shit. Trying to think of who else.
I have no problems with a heel winning WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I
I
have
don't
no
either.
problem with it. I have no problem with it at all. Like some people have an issue with that, but I have no problem with it at all. But we'll
No.
see where we go with this now. But now, pretty much, he's king of the mountain. Now he's pretty much defeated everyone and anyone.
Yeah.
There's no one really left for him. Yeah, honestly, like he's beaten Cena, he's beaten McIntyre, he's beaten Brock Lesnar. Like honestly, what's left?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
he almost turned the Undertaker into Cheeto dust.
Oh yeah, beat the Undertaker as well.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
So.
But yeah, I think this was all right. But yeah, this is like if they don't ever wrestle again against each other, I've had my fill. I'm like, dude, the best time they ever had was 31 when Brock was suplexing the shit out of Roman and he smacked the taste out of Roman's mouth worse than Will Smith smacked Chris Rock. Yeah, I thought it was good, but I don't need to see it anymore.
Yeah, I would like to see. Yeah, sorry. One more thing. I just like to see maybe Brock have some different interactions and not just be a main event attraction all the time.
Yeah,
like pre-main event and stuff like that.
I mean, I get that Brock is money, but I'm kind of ready for Brock to move just a step down the card. I'm like, you could still keep him as a main event dude, but I don't want him as the world champion anymore. I'm like, I've had my fill.
Fighting for it, I mean, have other feuds and stuff like that,
I'd like
maybe
to
be part of a tag team even, I'm fine with that.
Babyface Brock, though, Babyface Brock, this is the best run of his entire career.
Keep him babyface, by the way. I don't want him heel. Keep him babyface.
Yeah, babyface Brock, I'm a big fucking fan of, but go ahead, boss man.
I'm gonna go micro. Sorry, I'm gonna go micro, then I go macro. So I'm gonna go small, then go big. The small thing is, they did what they need to do. They did their business pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna say this, and I hate to say what I'm about to say, but it kind of reminds me of the other matches they've had. That it seems to be the same kind of spots all the time. And I don't mean that as a criticism of either guy. Even both guys are incredibly athletic and incredibly talented.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like for each other, they seem to pull at the same points. So I'm going to go macro for a minute. I think that they need to remove Suplex City. It was good for a couple of years.
It's run its course now.
It's run its course, and it's getting a little bit, not samey, but it's getting a little bit boring where people are just going, one. So you can even hear the crowd are just going, just saying it now. It's not like a thing where when he first did it to Cena, and Cena took it really well. Like there's one part where he skated and then he fell.
Yeah,
it was a shock. It was a surprise that
when Cena got his the very first time they did it, when Cena got his ass whipped, like even I was shocked. I'm like, I never saw Cena get dominated the way that I did. Like,
I want to see a variety of suplexes though.
Yeah,
I don't want to see Germans, always fucking Germans. I mean, give me some fucking northern right suplexes. Give me fisherman suplexes, belly to bellies. Gut wrenches. I mean, give me a whole variety.
Yeah, if you're gonna do Suplex City,
yeah.
do suplexes. Do different suplexes. Don't just do Germans and belly to bellies the way you do. Do different ones.
I'm still here.
Okay, but yeah, I thought overall, this was a good match. But for WrestleMania, how are we ranking it? I think it's up there with 31 as one of the best ones they've done in a long time.
8 out of 10, man. 8 out of 10.
Yeah. I'd have to give it like a 7. I'd give it like a 7, or an 8, which is pretty accurate.
I'd give it about 8. But as I said, first night was better than the second night.
Yeah, first night was way better than the second night. But yeah, this is, I think, the best WrestleMania since 2015. But now going into Monday Night Raw, oh my God. I don't know why.
I didn't see that, so you have to explain it to me.
Oh, I didn't really see it either, but I know like Cody Rhodes came out and he was like, I'm going to challenge for the WWE World Championship, whatever the fuck. Yeah, because they're pushing him to the moon. Cody's going to job out to Roman. Cody's not going to be the one to end Roman Reigns' dominant run.
This doesn't help anybody, does it?
No, it's booking yourself into a corner is what you've done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Cody should have feuds with other guys and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, build this stock up a little bit, and then maybe by SummerSlam have a match with Roman.
Yeah, I don't mind. Like if I would have been like, okay, if it was me, I would have taken Cody. I would have been like, I'm challenging for the WWE Championship. In comes Drew McIntyre. Dude, who the fuck are you? You've been gone all this time. I'm the one that had to ascend and bust my ass. I haven't been in the main event scene for a while. I deserve a shot at the WWE Championship. And then you could do a pay-per-view program between them two. And then eventually, you know, one of them or both of them fight Roman for the belts. But yeah, they're just gonna push Cody to the moon without anyone really stepping in otherwise.
Yeah, I agree. It does. I mean, what else was so shit about this episode of Raw?
Let's see, what else did they do? Roman came out and said like, "Oh, I got a big announcement," but the fuck is it? He was like, "You got to tune into SmackDown to see it," and I'm like, "So you just basically came out and wasted the last 10 minutes of Raw to advertise SmackDown? Why the fuck were you there?"
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
Did they still have a decent red hot crowd from Mania?
Yeah, they usually do. Yeah.
Well, there's two things that stood out in this episode. One of them was Veer Mahan's.
Oh yeah, Veer Mahan finally showed up.
And all he
Veer
did was
Mahan.
Yeah.
Don't know who this person is.
Okay, so since you don't know the meme, Zam, I'll tell you this. They, like, back in October, started advertising this Veer Coming thing. And I'm using coming as an emphasis.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's
back in October.
Yeah. Back in October. That's how long they've been advertising this.
Over half a year ago.
Yeah. He's been coming to Raw, and he's been coming in hard. I'll tell you that. But he finally came up. He finally came to Raw to beat the fuck out of the Mysterios. And that was what he did. He showed up and kicked the crap out of Rey and Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, they're the sacrificial lambs then, by the looks of things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these guys always have a beef to pick with someone, but they never end up winning their beef.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, so...
yeah, Veer's about to make Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio his bitch.
Yeah,
and the other bit was, I've got to say, one of the funniest things that I've seen in quite some time. Where like Kevin Owens is doing this promo when he's talking about my leg was bad,
oh yeah,
I was a bad back, and then all of a sudden this music starts and then all of a sudden this thing was Ezekiel, and this guy who's this really jacked in shape, like wild hair guy comes into it, and then all of a sudden I'm like, this guy looks a bit familiar. I couldn't.
And then you zoom in on his face, and then you're like,
oh my god, it's Elias.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Owens just goes, Elias? He goes, and he grabs his hands and he goes, I'm not Elias. And then the crowd in unison just goes, yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
and that was just hilarious. Yeah. And then he says, he goes, no, I'm not Elias.
I'm his younger brother, Ezekiel.
And I lose it. I've watched about 2 or 3 live streams where people watching it, and everybody loses it at that moment. It's just what the fuck is wrong with?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, they killed Elias, and then they brought him back, and then they turned him into Ezekiel and gave him the default generic WWE creator wrestler gear. That's essentially what they made him out to look like. And now he's a babyface. And I'm like, okay, yeah.
Doesn't sound very promising.
Fascinating. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then, by the way, MVP and Bobby Lashley broke up too. That was another highlight in this episode.
I wasn't surprised because I saw snippets of that. And he's jumped straight into the Omos camp, and he's going to be his manager and stuff like that. So with Bobby Lashley come back as a babyface. Yeah, Lashley's now going to be pushed to. It's going to be rewind the clock to 2007 when Lashley dominated ECW. See, I wouldn't mind like a baby face clash between Lashley and Lesnar again, but this time without like the shadow of bigger MVP. Things to come. Yep. Oh no, just big with potential other matches and stuff like that. Just let these two guys have a match, and without being concerned about what happens afterwards, just let them fucking have a match. You know what I mean? And because honestly, the match at the Royal Rumble was a disgrace. Yeah, it really was. So I want to had a good build up, but the payoff was ass. Yeah.
Maybe by
Exactly.
SummerSlam they could revisit it, but I don't know.
Make it a face versus face clash. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah. So,
but this has been WrestleMania 38. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys now, though, that I know we all don't usually watch wrestling anymore, and I advertise on my channel. I think this is pretty much going to be it as far as me covering pretty much anything current in WWE, because I got to be honest, WWE is just not as fun for me as it used to be, like it was back in the day. And I'm just kind of like, you get older, your priorities change, and I'm just not having fun with WWE. So I'm not going to be doing previews and predictions and reviews and that kind of shit. But I'll still be doing stuff like Dark Side of the Ring, because those are always fun to do. And
they're fascinating.
Old school stuff, yeah. I'll be definitely down to do like top 10s, old school stuff like favorite feuds, gimmick matches, the stuff that we do. But as far as like covering current day wrestling, I'm about ready to move on from that. I think I'm going to focus on other things going forward.
So the next pay-per-view is Backlash WrestleMania.
Yep.
I can't. It's
going to be all rematches. You already know.
It's just so tacky. Like they call the WrestleMania before, so the Raw before WrestleMania Raw, WrestleMania SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're really cashing in on WrestleMania by calling everything around it WrestleMania when it isn't. There's only one fucking WrestleMania. Well, two actually, but they made that two-nighter. Yep. But you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? To call Backlash WrestleMania, it's an insult. You know what I mean? It's an insult to fans' intelligence. But that's next, I guess, on the card, and we're going to start getting. Matches and stuff like that.
I'm kind of done because I'm just like, nah, man. I've done this YouTube thing forever, and I'm just like, yeah, we've got like 500 guys that can do this, and my passion for WWE is just kind of gone. Like it's like, I'm not excited about it. Like I always maintain that once the Undertaker retired and got his Hall of Fame send off, that was going to be the end of it for me, and essentially that's what we got. Taker got in the Hall of Fame. He got to say goodbye. So I'm like, okay, I started with Undertaker. I think it's appropriate that I kind of end with Undertaker too.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is that if you don't like it, because the thing is that WWE hasn't really done anything to really earn your watch. To be honest,
and it's a combination of things for me. It's the fact that I'm getting older. Like I said, I'm going to be turning 34. I'm not as young as I used to be, and my priorities have changed. I'm more into gaming now. I want to talk more about like video games, more about like Marvel stuff with you guys, more about like old school stuff like that. I want to still do. I'm just not going to cover current day wrestling. And I know people are like, what about AEW? You got to talk about AEW, Double or Nothing. I've tried to get into AEW, but it's just not for me. I'm one of those people that can admit that. Like, I'm like, I've tried, but I just can't get into it for whatever reason. I don't know why it was.
This guy called Bobby.
Best thing about WrestleMania was Stone Cold. Yeah. If you grew up during that era, Stone Cold is definitely going to be the best thing.
Once again, they had to go down the nostalgia factor.
Yeah. Well, it surprised me that, I mean, the guy's been on for, like, I mean, what did he have his last match was, what?
2003.
So that is
19 years ago.
19 years ago. And he comes out and the place goes ballistic.
Yeah.
It's like wrestling doesn't create those sort of stars anymore. I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's like there's some sort of magic missing, but like there isn't that guy or girl.
Because Vince doesn't push the people the fans like.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I mean, in the last 20 years he hasn't been doing that.
What it is too is it's the brand now. It's not about building superstars anymore. They've abandoned this mindset of we don't have superstars. We're about building a brand. And it's like, that is so fucking stupid. You would get so much bigger if you let your talent grow outside of WWE. But I think ever since The Rock went Hollywood 20 years ago, ironically, that was the beginning of the end. The day The Rock said, fuck this, I'm going to go to Hollywood, that was the beginning of the end of superstars being made.
If they didn't want to be so overly controlling and just understand that, we just have to listen to our fans and push the people that they appreciate, like Zack Ryder, like Daniel Bryan, like Damian Sandow, guys they like, what I mean, and we can push them and we can still keep going. And if people do go to Hollywood, there's always going to be somebody else. It's always good, but they just stopped doing what fans wanted. There was a time when they would listen to the fans. Now they don't. And it's all because Vince is an ego fucking maniac and he's got no competition anymore. And he feels he can dominate. Yeah.
That's another reason I'm done. I'm just like, I know that we're never going to get this again. Like, I've accepted it. I'm like, I know for a fact we're never going to get superstars again. We're never going to get megastars again. Those days are over. Those days died when WCW and ECW died. And it will never be that way again.
Part of me wishes, well, again, I hope that AEW gets there because he's got the finances to get there.
Yeah, they do.
And they've got Punk, who is a star. But I don't think he's a superstar, but he's definitely a star. He's somebody who has.
He's a superstar, man.
Yeah.
But I think what the problem is that they're too influenced by the people who are the executive vice presidents in that company.
I think with AEW, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying I hate AEW. I'm just saying, like, okay, I've tried to get into it. I can tell that a lot of it is very match and move heavy. CM Punk and MJF has been the best thing that company has ever done. If you guys have not seen the CM Punk MJF matches and build up, go out of your way to see that. That shit has been amazing. But other than that, it's like, what other stories has there been in AEW? There really hasn't been that many. Maybe the Inner Circle.
They've come late to the game. That's the thing. I mean, it's very hard to build up a new company at this stage.
I think AEW was honestly maybe about 10 years too late, if I'm also being honest.
Well,
obviously.
I think there are wrestling fans out there who aren't being catered to. I just don't think AEW's catered to them.
They're catered to hardcores. That's who they go after. They're going after the hardcores.
Sorry.
They just to quickly responded to Bobby. WWF Attitude was the best period. Look,
it was the most fun. It was the most fun I ever had.
The Attitude era in the WWF promo wise was the best, but wrestling wise, I give it to WCW, especially their cruiserweight division, which was, in my opinion, some of the best wrestling I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh yeah, if you get the
textbook
chance,
clinic wrestling.
If you go back, if you get the chance, the matches I recommend, any match between Rey Mysterio and Dean Malenko, chef's kiss. Any match between Rey and Eddie, chef's kiss. Anything with the cruiserweights was amazing, and probably the mid card too. Anything short of Goldberg and the NWO, WCW pretty much killed it during that era. As far as the WWF Attitude, talking wise and promo and segment wise, it was the best fun we've ever had as wrestling fans. Wrestling wise, I would say 2000 is the year you need to go watch. 2000 was the WWF's best year, and that was the year that Austin wasn't there. But
for me, like when WrestleMania 17, which was the end of the Attitude Era, when that was like its peak, it peaked.
It did.
You know what I mean? And after that, it was pretty much downhill. After that, don't get me wrong, it wasn't a noticeable downhill.
It was gradual. It was gradual.
But
I think AEW can get that, but it just needs to not be run by the people who are actually in the company.
Yeah, you can't let wrestlers be the marks that run the company, because you can't have marks run a wrestling company, because it's never going to work out too well. I mean, Tony's got billions of dollars. That's great. But I don't want people to get upset about this, but I'm going to say it. If CM Punk, Adam Cole, and Bryan Danielson can't move them to 1.3 to 1.5 million viewers, I don't know who will, and I don't know what will. I think AEW is destined to have their hardcore audience. They're going to get their million viewers, and that's going to be about their glass ceiling. That may be as good as they get.
Yeah, they need to put people who are veterans in the ring, in the creative, like Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Put him in the creative and stuff like that. Obviously not too many, but if you're going to put someone like Chris Jericho in the creative, then don't have him be a wrestler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And honestly, in 50 plus, stop him from wrestling, man. Tell Chris, relax, man.
Yeah.
Don't commentary, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll be totally cool with that, but AEW, I don't give a fuck about it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've tried. I'm like, it's just because I know Ginger was like, "You got to talk about Double or Nothing." I'm like, "Dude, I think this is it. I think I'm at the end of my rope." I'm like, "I've covered everything I want to cover as far as current day stuff. I have no desire to come back to this." I'm like, "I'm going to get more into Marvel stuff. I'm going to join you guys for Moon Knight next week, I hope. I'm going to, want to talk more about video games and other things that I enjoy." It just so happens that I've outgrown wrestling, and it happens to all of us. It happened to you, Zam. It happened to me. It
Yeah.
happened to Bobby Black. And that's what we all go through. It's just part of life. It's time to move on.
But once again, I do blame the people at the top for putting us in that position, for not listening to us and giving us what we wanted and thinking that they can manipulate us.
Yep.
Because eventually we thought, fuck you. And we moved on.
Yep. And that's where I'm at now. It's time to go.
Yeah.
It is. So this is why I'm announcing this is the last WrestleMania I will review that's current. Other than that, I'm not going to do previews. I'm not doing predictions. I'm not doing reactions. Those days are done for me. But if you guys want to continue doing them, by all means, go ahead. I'm just saying I'm out. But I'm still going to contribute to the channel in other aspects.
We'll see how it goes. I feel obviously things like Backlash and stuff, maybe not, but SummerSlam, maybe. Yeah, I mean, maybe. See how I feel. Survivor Series, I really wish that pay-per-view has been shown so much disrespect.
Yeah, I almost kind of wish they would have retired it, but I get why they don't do it. I kind of wish they would, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they haven't got the creativity to make that pay-per-view what it should be, which is elimination tag matches.
Funniest damn thing is, though, they like to advertise Survivor Series is the one night a year you see Raw and SmackDown go at it. Also, WWE. We're going to have 15 Raw and 15 SmackDown guys go at it in the Royal Rumble. Also, WWE. You're going to see this Raw guy take on this SmackDown guy at WrestleMania. Make up your fucking minds.
Mate, they have Raw and SmackDown guys on Raw and SmackDown
right now.
Yeah, like they're full of shit. I remember somebody saying, like, if they did the brand split, they would make sure that you wouldn't hear anything about each other's show on. If it was Raw, it would be solely about the Raw wrestlers. On SmackDown, solely about the SmackDown, with very little interaction between the two shows.
Yeah, only thing I would do is I would have the commentators take digs. I'd be like, dude, SmackDown is the best wrestling show. We're going to show you why. Like, fuck those guys on the show Monday night. Like,
I wouldn't even do that. I would just not acknowledge them, and then have and maybe the odd time you have one guy who just happens to be between two shows, like Vince McMahon or something like that, and then very rarely you have that moment between one wrestler and another wrestler between the shows, which is like a very once or twice a year to keep that special vibe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But if you have to make people jump between the shows,
this guy.
But they just ruin this bit. Like when Bobby Lashley when Brock Lesnar first fought Goldberg, it felt really special. A Raw guy versus a SmackDown guy. You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't happen and stuff like that. Obviously, the match turned out to be an absolute dud.
But the build-up was amazing.
Yeah, it was. But once again, they go with this idea and then they just say fuck it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like, fuck it. We'll do something else.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I don't have anything more to add, so I'm going to be ready to wrap this up. Boss man, if you've got anything you want to add.
You going to be watching SmackDown tonight, Boss man? Boss man, you're on mute, I think.
I think he muted his mic.
Sorry. I was just waiting for David just to say his piece because I went to. If you're going to battle, I'd rather you do it without me interrupted. But yeah, not really because I've got to be up early for work tomorrow. But overall, as I said, like, it's a decent WrestleMania. But the thing is that, like, I think they're getting to the point now that, like, the numbers of people who are interested in wrestling might just start dwindling because, like, they've chased YouTube. They've chased YouTube away. I mean, the only people who are still into it are people like me and Shredder and things like that. People who still love the business. It's just that I just wish that AEW was catering to what I do because I do think there is a outline there of a good wrestling company. They just keep ruining it with junky wrestlers and people wrestling on the outside and lack of rules and stuff like that. And I think if they could remove that stuff, they'd be great because they've got people who I like. They've got CM Punk, they've got Adam Cole, they've got Kenny Omega, and all that. Trainer doesn't particularly like it, but I think that Kenny Omega is a good wrestler. They've got Danielson, they've got Flaming MDF, who I think is one of the 10. And plus, there's tons of talented indie wrestlers out there who WWF has literally said they're not going to get anymore. That they can tap people like Justin Hammerstone and Flaming, just Jacob Fatu and people like that, and people who would make their product 10 times better, and probably could get people like yourselves back into it, because if they were producing good product week after week after week, it doesn't matter whether you like wrestling or not. It's a good product, and it's like good telly. I'm sure there's programs out there that you said to yourselves, I'm not watching that program anymore, but then they introduced a new element to it and a new storytelling technique to it, and you're like, all right, I was giving up. I'm sure there's a television. I mean, for me, and again, that did that to me was The Shield. The first season of The Shield was great. The second season wasn't that good, so I kind of fell out of watching it. But then I got back into watching it when Forrest Whitaker came in, and he was like doing this all concern of revenue, and that third season is brilliant. So I don't think wrestling's the same way. I think that it needs to bring people back, and the way you'll bring people back is to have good quality wrestling events week after week after week. It's either going to do that or it's just going to be obsolete.
I think WrestleMania. I think wrestling, though, if we're being honest, not to be the pessimist, but I think it's had its end. I really do. I think 17 was the peak. We've seen a gradual downslide, and I think we are where we are, and that's it.
Look, WrestleMania 38, I thoroughly enjoyed. I give it an 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Did I watch Monday Night Raw the following day? No. Yeah. I just don't give a fuck. I mean, I went down a nostalgia trip, and I didn't care to continue with that nostalgia trip anymore. I'm done with it. Just to point out what Cousin Cheetah said, I agree that Attitude was the best for promos at moments. Honestly, the best wrestling didn't happen in the Attitude Era.
I agree.
Once again, the era, yes, just not in WWF. It was in WCW. Mm-hmm. That's the difference,
Yeah, the Cruiserweights. One of my favorite matches of all time is Chris Benoit versus Owen Hart.
Bret Hart for the Owen Hart tribute match.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite matches of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel horrible saying that because of Chris Benoit stuff.
The circumstances, but yeah, I get what you mean. But all right, if you guys got anything to add, go ahead.
No, I'm out.
Okay.
No, I'm done as well. Sign us out, man.
Okay, guys. I am DOZ. With me is Bossman and Zam. This has been our post-show review wrap-up for WrestleMania 38. May the 4th be with you. I know I just pissed people off. I don't care. But, yeah.
That's Vader time right there.
It's Vader time. Thank you guys for watching. We are NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel that you've heard of. Kind of. We're getting there. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, share, and we will see you next time. Peace.